All right. This is the David Washington Show. I'm your host, David Washington. Yes, indeed. I am on Twitter and other socials, but primarily on Twitter at Apex Apex Political, and also on LinkedIn where you can find my professional profile. And of course, the J and Washington company page. I am here. Thank you, John, my producer. Thank you, Joel, my co-host for You Can't Make This Shit Up. And thank you, the Oxford Sports Pub and Secret Society here in Altamont Springs for having us here every Thursday creating our content. I love Thursdays. I call it Content Creation Thursdays. And, the food here is great. The ambiance is awesome, and you have to come down here, whether it's for lunch or for dinner. Spend some time here. It's located here in Altamont Springs Mall. So, this is the David Washington Show, and this is my opportunity to talk to you, my audience, directly, whether you're a political, whether you are someone who is just interested in politics and elected, someone who wants to get into politics, you want to run for office, or you're a voter, you want to know more about politics, particularly here in Florida, because that's where I'm at. If you want to know a little bit more about, Illinois politics or national politics, sometimes I'll delve into those subjects also. But today I want to talk directly to my peers in the field, to the onlookers on the sidelines, to the competition also. As you know, I started here in Florida with Myers and Washington. And Myers and Washington primarily worked with liberal progressive candidates. And I've transitioned on to working with Joel Hawksley and his organization, and David Washington and his organization, M&W. And we transitioned and joined together to form Jay and Washington. And Jay and Washington, again, Jay and Washington's purpose is to work with the best people with the best ideas for their community. And let me repeat that: best people, best ideas for their communities. So it doesn't matter if you're conservative, Republican, or liberal, Democrat, or somewhere in between on that political spectrum. Affiliation in this time, in this world, it matters. However, what matters the most is making sure that we do the best that we do for ourselves, our communities, and for our nation. We all have to work together to make America better. We all have to work together to advance great ideas, to bring forth good people representing their communities, to make our communities better, our townships, our cities, our districts, our states, our nation. At the end of the day, that is what it's all about. So if there is a election where it's likely a Republican will win that race, we want to help promote the best candidate for that race. If it's a Democrat, the same. We want the best Democrat, the best one to win that race. We have the skills. Excuse me. We have the skills. We have the knowledge base. We have the expertise. We know what we're saying. We know what we're doing. We have the record of winning. When you follow the prescribed strategy, I guarantee you, you are more likely than not to win your race. We have the tools, the resources. And if we don't, we know how to access those tools and resources. We at Jay in Washington are the complete package, the complete shop, your one stop shop for an effective and winning campaign strategy. From content creation to strategy to field operations to managing the campaign's finances, we have the expertise to do that. So, saying all that, to hear in the wild, in the community, that, oh, no, 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 I'm suspect about working with David Washington because he works with a Republican, for goodness sakes. Or Joel. Oh, I can't work with Joel Hawksley because he works with a Democrat, a liberal, and David Washington. Oh my God, the short sightedness. If you listen to our content or watch our content, you'll know that there's so much more to politics. That party of party affiliation goes so far in politics. Results, those kitchen table issues that you, the electorate, are concerned about, the solutions to those issues that you think about, that you discuss at home, that you discuss at work, that you discuss with your family, and finding solutions. That is what we're all about. And there are solutions that you can't say are conservative or liberal. Solutions are solutions. It's just the approach that you take. I've worked with conservatives. I've lived with conservatives. I've had meals with conservatives. The same with Joel. He's lived with liberals, had meals with liberals, worked with liberals. We're all Americans and we all want the best for our families, our children, our elderly, our society. And we need, in this time and day, as we see the type of politics that's out there, the culture wars, the war on people of color, the LGBTQ community, immigrants, children, the elderly. I could go on and on. Yeah, it's a war. I describe it as a war. And have that conversation with me. I'll lay out the facts. We have to stop having war with Americans. We have to stop that. We need to come together. It's not about money. It's not about race. It's not about sexual orientation or gender identity. It's about being an American. It's about being human beings and being good to one another and being good for one another. You know, sometimes in politics, it can be very frustrating and sometimes depressing. I remember 30 years ago, my foray into politics and really getting into the nitty gritty. And I had the opportunity to run for office when I was in my 20s, early 20s, before my career really started in Illinois. And my political family suggested that I run for alderman in Chicago, south side of Chicago, in the ward that I grew up in Roseland, Rosemore community. And by that time, I had was coming off several campaigns and a devastating defeat, my first defeat in politics, when State Representative Clem Balinoff ran against John Buchanan for the 10th Ward alderman seat. And this is where I learned that signs don't vote. Political signs do not vote. I learned that politics is a blood sport. And I learned hard. And that loss was devastating because I believe that Clem was going to win. We put so much, we sacrificed so much for that. And when I was asked, David, you're young, you know politics, you know Chicago politics, educated, articulate, personable, run for alderman in the Ninth Ward. Hey, make sure you like, share, hit the notification button for the David Washington Show, the Morning Constitution, I'm sorry, countertop politics, and our flagship show. You can't make this shit up. Please. So when I was asked to be to run for alderman, I was like, it's like selling my soul. I just couldn't do it. I was drained from that previous election that we lost. I believe so much. It broke my heart. It really broke my heart, and I fell into a depression. Um, I survived, and 30 years later, back in politics after a successful career in behavioral sciences and child welfare. And I feel better where I'm at now than being out front as a candidate. And there's joy in that. I really do enjoy what I do. And I recommend that if you do come political into the political space, make sure it's a space that you want to be in. Be ready mentally and spiritually and emotionally and definitely physically. I'm in prime campaign mode, physical, condition here. After losing some weight, um, this is grueling, but it's so much fun. And again, whether it's on the left or the right, it's about us as people, as United States citizens, as human beings that matters the most. And we have to be good to one another. We have to be kind to one another because no one monopolizes the best ideas. No one. And I'm proud to say that I help good people with the best ideas get elected representing their communities. I'm David Washington. This is Good Trouble. This is the David Washington Show here at the Oxford Sports Pub and Secret Society in Altamont Springs. We'll see you next time. Like, share, commit yourself to a comment. Talk to us. Talk to me. Talk to Joel. Talk to John. Talk to John. Talk to everyone. Let's have that conversation, okay? We'll see you the next time.